Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is PK Kemsley taking aim at his estranged maybe soon to be, not ex wife yet, they're still technically married, Dorit Kemsley. Let's see what he has to say. And also, is this all for the show? Is this all for clicks and views? Is this all to save her diamond, or is there something deeper going on? So before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. It's a fun and easy way to support the show, and I appreciate it. So with that, let's go. So this is according to All About the Real Housewives. It says the premiere of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season 14 has brought Dorit Kemsley's personal life into the spotlight, particularly her separation from husband PK Kemsley. Throughout this emotional chapter, Dorit has remained open and transparent about the struggles they face in their marriage, especially regarding PK's past issues with alcohol, and PK isn't very pleased. Dorit's decision to speak about PK's alcoholism on screen has drawn attention, particularly when she discussed the impact it had on their relationship. PK himself, during a recent appearance on Bravo's Hot Mic podcast, expressed frustration with some of the comments Dorit made, including her statement that he was, quote, a full-blown alcoholic. He explained that although his alcoholism was a component in the discussion and the dissolution of their marriage, he believes it's too simplistic to label him as a full-blown alcoholic without considering the nuances of the situation. I was shocked, disappointed, and upset about what Dorit had to say, PK shared, alleging the emotional toll of his struggles. He also made it clear that he has made significant strides in his recovery, proudly stating that he has been sober for a year. Okay, before we keep going into what he was saying, I'm calling a little bit of BS on this. I kind of feel like the core reason why Dorit and PK are going through this alleged separation is to get ahead of any legal issues, whether it's bankruptcy, whether it's alleged fraud schemes, insurance scams. Sort of how, like, when, Tom Girardi was being investigated and then indicted and ultimately convicted of his fraud, Erica all of a sudden was like, oh, Tom is so mean. He has dementia. He's incompetent. He's crazy. He's losing his mind. I feel like because there has been a lot of spotlight and questioning around the validity of their alleged home invasions and their multi-million-dollar insurance payouts, perhaps they're feeling the heat that might be actually get investigated. It seems like they've allegedly have had people on the inside, whether it's with law enforcement, insurance people, banks, executives. This isn't the first time that they've been accused of fraud schemes, whether it's been bank schemes, bankruptcy schemes, investor schemes, whatever the case may be, from London to LA, all over the place. Just Google it. I'm not making it up. These are all the allegations that are out there. So, is one of the defenses, because a lot of times when, these men, and by these men, I mean these kind of white collar guys who do these crimes, think about, Alec Murdaugh, if you listen to any true crime, when he got exposed for basically running his law firm as a Ponzi scheme, stealing from his clients, all of a sudden he had an opioid addiction and all this stuff going on. They use like dementia and addiction and alcoholism to use as an excuse for why they're doing all of these schemes and scams and frauds in order to gain favor in the court system. So call it a conspiracy if you want. I love a good conspiracy. I think all of this is to get ahead of any legal thing that might be coming down the line for them. Because for PK to be talking about his sobriety and how far he's come, and now all of a sudden Dorit's like he's a full-blown alcoholic, but we've never seen PK drunk on the show. And if you're going to tell me that he is a full-blown alcoholic for years, when has he been an alcoholic on the show for the last 7 years? We've never seen PK out of control. We've seen Mauricio high as a kite. We've seen other people on some questionable substances. We've seen Erica Jane wasted off of her face, falling over, popping pills and alcohol. And these are all things that she said. We've seen the people who've had very strong reactions to substances on the show, but we've never actually seen PK ever get out of pocket. So I'm kind of calling BS on this. I think this is just them trying to get ahead of any type of legal action that could be taken against them as a way to get out of it. Okay. Now, PK himself acknowledged that alcoholism was only a component of their separation, explaining that the cause of their marital issues is much deeper than addiction. Dorit's lack of understanding about sobriety is not her fault. She hasn't invested in it, and it's not something, she hasn't worked a program and hasn't done what I've done. So there is no fully blown alcohol. So there is no fully blown alcoholic. You're either an alcoholic or you're not. PK continued, obviously, my alcoholism had an element of responsibility in relation to the breakdown of our marriage, but that was just a component. If you understand the disease, alcoholism is a symptom, it's not a cause. So the reality is you have to get to what the cause was underneath. So it's just not as simple to say he's a full-blown alcoholic. That's why we're separated. However, Dorit's words have been consistent in portraying her emotional distress and the difficult decisions that led to this split. This is where I disagree with Oh, wait, let's continue and then I'll tell you what I think. Okay, Dorit spoke candidly about the struggles they faced, including bankruptcies, gambling debts, and PK's past behavior. See, so she goes to say the bankruptcy and all the gambling debts were well before I met her. And then the thing for me, because I've recovered from all the things that have happened in my extraordinary career, I recovered from anything. I haven't gambled since 2008. I don't drink. The bankruptcy was 2010. All of that was past history. Okay, this is the thing. And then he goes on to say, Dorit is on TV talking about the darkest times of my life and suggesting that she held my hand through them. It's difficult to watch sometimes, particularly when she wasn't with me when it happened. Okay, again, on the surface, this sounds like these are two people going at it. He's like, you're talking about my darkest days. She's throwing all these allegations at him. But when you actually look at it, again, it's a way to protect Dorit and separate her from any fraud or the scams. All of the bankruptcies, all of the gambling, all of that happened before Dorit. That was in the past. She had nothing to do with it. And then her being like, very much like Erica Jane, oh, Tom, and blah, 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 blah. And now Dorit's all like, oh, PK, he did all this stuff. It's a way to separate her from all of that. But the alleged insurance scams and home robberies, I think they had at least two. And then she said that she was robbed for $10,000, which again, in my opinion, I don't believe her. I think that was also a scam and a lie. That all happened on camera. She talked about all of this, and this all went down during the season. Those scams happened with Dorit, alleged scams. Don't forget about Beverly Beach when people were chasing Dorit around a pool. Remember that video was going around? I don't know why they didn't show it on the show. A woman was screaming at Dorit, my friend money, because allegedly Dorit and PK were stealing investors' monies from Beverly Beach and whatever other brands or businesses she allegedly was doing. Investors were coming after them for their money. That was with Dorit. You see? So they conveniently forget about the current and the very recent alleged schemes and allegations, but yet they're trying to separate Dorit from the past fraud. Like, no, that all happened in the past. She had nothing to do with it. Okay? So for me, they're telling on themselves. Like, we're not stupid. All of these alleged insurance scams, which had to be at least 3 at this point, 2 home invasions. You said you got robbed for $10,000 in cash, which just so happens to be the insurance threshold number. Who's walking around with $10,000 in cash? Doesn't even make sense. The Beverly Beach investors, all of that going on. Don't forget about there's just so much. Just Google, it's crazy, right? So again, we're not stupid. I think that they are trying to get ahead of some sort of legal investigation or legal drama or fraud thing, trying to separate Dorit, also, that's right, the foreclosure on their home. So word on the street is their home is being foreclosed on. So why are you not paying your mortgage payment? And apparently it has some weird thing where it's like a percentage is in her name and the percentage are in other people's names of the home, but the house is allegedly in pre-foreclosure. So what's going on with that? And also, don't forget when Dorit and PK first came on the show, Camille was like, I know about you, Dorit and PK. I know you guys are con artists. You guys owe my friends all this money. So they were scheming and scamming clearly together. And then also on the show, PK was like, yeah, we were Bonnie and Clyde. Bonnie and Clyde were criminals. So I think all of this, he's an alcoholic, she's talking about stuff that happened in the past, this, that, and a third. I think all of that is smoke and mirrors because they're trying to get ahead of something that may be coming. Maybe it'll come, maybe it won't. Some people get away with their stuff, some people don't. Who knows? But I want to know what you guys think about this. Are you like me and you're like, these guys are literally just trying to create a narrative to separate her and the kids and whatever assets they have left from something bigger coming down the road? Or do you think, no, Dorit's just being so transparent and she had nothing to do with his alleged scheme and scams? This is all just down to his drinking and her talking too much. But as always, I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. And are you watching season 14? What do you think about Dorit, being unhinged every single episode? What do you think about her newfound friendship with Bozema, her feud with Kyle? Whose side are you on? Who are you rooting for? Put everything down below. And with that, you guys, I will talk to you next time. Bye.